We're smooth 98.1 FM. Good morning and welcome to the locker room. It is time for us to get into everything sports. And I can guarantee you that people will not collect this morning. They will collect. It depends on which side your team falls this morning. Good morning, Tega.
Good morning, everybody. So first things first, Arsenal fans, hope you have money. You have to go and buy Manchester United fans something today. I don't even want to hear. In fact, we'll open the
I
phone
said,
lines for Arsenal fans to just thank Manchester United fans because they are doing a thing for you. However, remember, you are still going to Old Trafford before the season is over. So, on that note,
yeah.
it was a fantastic sporting weekend for me. Especially last night. So you know that the NCAA championships going on in America, March Madness, basically. So the women's basketball has been all the rage. I mean, think about it from Angel Reese to Caitlin Clark and all the other things that came with it, good, bad, and ugly. And there was a lot of ugly. But yesterday, Don Staley and her team, the South Carolina basketball women's team, won the championships, defeating Caitlin Clark's team, and my day was made. I was just done with hearing, oh, she's the greatest player I've ever seen. I'm like, Uncle, we've been watching this basketball since she's not even close. Anyway, so my bad belly day was done. I was happy. But also this weekend, this weekend, a lot of other things also happened. What else happened this weekend? The Japanese Championship happened this weekend, and as usual, Red Bull sealed it. But we'll touch on that a little bit. We'll also touch about on the Monte Carlo Masters that is starting. Well, has really started over the weekend, but today will be some prominent fixtures, and then we'll touch on the football that happened over the weekend and the one that is coming up on Tuesday. Because my goodness, there is football on Tuesday. So all of that in the locker room. But before we touch on those, Omatseye, tell us, how can we be a part of the locker room this morning?
To be part of the conversation inside the locker room will be for you to send us a WhatsApp message onto the WhatsApp platform on 0809 444 0981 will be where we read all of your messages, the basbos, the woto, get them across onto WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981. And then you can also catch the live stream on youtube.com/smooth981 FM Lagos. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave your message, give us a thumbs up there, and then you're part of the family. Tega, that said, where do we go from here?
Headlines, straight headlines, because we need to touch on the blues.
All right, on the bill this morning comes this one where Olympic qualifiers, we can beat Super Falcons in second leg. South African coach is the one giving assurances there to South Africans. Of course, there would be Japanese Grand Prix 2024. No one is going to catch Max this year as Asina 6, a winning clay start in his Monte Carlo base. There would also be club pleads patience from supporters after draw at Man United. That's with the Devils. And then going on, we would find Mancini probed out over Lazio rat flag derby celebration, as there is also several starters in doubt for Arsenal clash, says Bayern's Tuchel. Then Real Madrid's different proposition in Bellingham says Guardiola. And of course, the Sheffield United's McBurney grabbed it. All right, so let's get on to our first up story here, where a coach of South Africa's female national team coach the Bayana Desiree Ellis, has described their nil loss to 1-0 loss to Super Falcons of Nigeria as just halftime. That's what she says. Tega.
Well, she's not telling any lie. It was halftime. It's a two-legged qualifier, and Nigeria won the one in Abuja on Friday by 1-0. was, I mean, it wasn't the most put together performance. Again, you have to remember that South Africa came ready for us. They were in the country before the Nigerians. Can you imagine that your guest was in your house before you came back? Um, so it was a tough one. They had acclimatized well. They were doing a lot of good things on the pitch. Uh, and of course, Asat wasn't on the team, but she wasn't playing because she just arrived the day before the match for many reasons. And so it was a tough one. Randy had to put together a team, and you have to remember that Randy's tactics is first to not lose, then second to win. So it's primarily conservative. Sometimes when you're playing a qualifier, especially against a tough team like South Africa, it can seem like the best tactics. And so Nigeria came out with a 1-0 win from that one, and they're taking it to Pretoria. Now, this is where it's going to be tough. So she's right. It's just halftime we've played. We've seen teams come out of halftime losing and then going on to win the match. And so that could be the case here. But this is why the Nigerians have to be smart. You're playing in a country that they're going to pack their own stadium. It will not be empty like our own. They are going to come out for their girls. Not only that, the intimidation will be wild. The media officer was talking about how how it was when they arrived at Pretoria for training. They provided everything for them, but it was more like, we're providing this thing just so we can beat you. So with everything, there was this squinting of the eyes and this scowl on their faces, like, we're giving you all your facilities, so you won't say that we didn't give you, but we'll beat you. So everything is like, there's that undertone of the warning, and the Olympic ticket is
Let's
on.
pamper you before we beat you.
Let's give you more water before you we beat you. So that it's
There
a
will be
tough
water
one.
really in South Africa. There will be lots of water in South
Yeah,
Africa.
so
Really,
Pretoria
Tyler
needs.
is there to
I mean,
supply
Pretoria
water.
is going. Yeah, Pretoria is going to be tough. For the Super Falcons, but again, Randy's
Yeah.
tactics of not losing may first come into hand. However, I don't want him to sit too deep, because you can't contain that South African pressure for 90 minutes when they're at home. So there has to be that outlet. So wait to see what happens. The match is today. Oh, I told people when it was on Friday, so it's today. So wear your green,
Yeah.
support your Super Falcons. I know some this streams we saw on Friday, some of them were a bit iffy, but today's will be better. So let's watch the Super Falcons. Let's support the Super Falcons as they try to punch a ticket to Paris 2024.
Let's go now to the circuit and find out what it's looking like. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff painted a bleak but realistic picture. Formula One season after the Japanese Grand Prix this season.
Yeah, it's a bleak picture, and especially for him, Mercedes was not doing very well. It's like they were driving in reverse. And it didn't help that yesterday, I think Lewis Hamilton picked up damage early after his mini clash with Charles Leclerc. So it was a struggle for most of the race. So it doesn't look good. I think especially with the fact that Mercedes dominated for 8 years, for them to fall so far behind, they are behind the McLaren, if you ask me, um, in terms of performance not just in qualifying, but even on race day. So it's a really bleak season for them. And I'm wondering, what were they doing all weekend in that factory? Sorry, all off season in that factory. Were they clapping their hands? It's so sad that that my point is, they are so far behind. It's sad. You can't have dominated the sport for 8 years, and just because of an engine change, you are now, middle of the pack. It's it's a kind of incompetence that they should be arresting you for. But yeah, it's a really bleak season for him. But for Ferrari, especially for the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz, that guy is driving to try and find himself a seat. Because Ferrari did a thing yesterday, even with Charles Leclerc, that was after the mini crash, fell to eighth, came back,
Yeah.
was able to finish fourth, and so even won driver of the day. So if they're not winning, getting on the podium, they're winning driver of the day. It's been a beautiful performance for Ferrari. They're actually competing with Red Bull, even if Red Bull are miles
Yeah.
ahead. But for Mercedes and Toto Wolff, please, it's a real big future, and he's part of the problem. So he needs to solve that.
Well, Tega, how you drop this caveat most times me, I don't even understand it. It just comes. But then this one looks good. It says, well, drivers, be warned, you could be arrested for incompetence. I never knew this before now,
Yes,
Tega.
so so that level of incompetence, they need to be arrested for it at Mercedes. All right, so let's go to Monte Carlo and see
Oh,
what's happening there.
yeah. Yannick Sinner said on Sunday he's hoping to build upon his semi-final a year ago at the Monte Carlo Masters as the Italian begins the clay season in his zone. How confident?
So yeah, he's a player of the season so far. Lost only one match since the turn of 2024, and he lost that to Carlos Alcaraz. And speaking of Carlos Alcaraz, there's been some reports that he's having a discomfort on his forearm. So my question was, if he's having a discomfort on his forearm, I know this is one Masters, I know he has points to back up, and I know this is clay season, where one of the seasons where he thrives. But couldn't he just sit this one out if he's struggling with something in his arm? Because you don't want him to struggle with that thing all the way into the Roland Garros, which is next month. You want everything healed. But for some reason, he's going ahead with participating this week in Monte Carlo Masters, and his journey is not easy. His route to the top is not easy, and because he has fallen in the rankings, he's fallen behind Yannick Sinner to third. He's now in the same draw with Novak Djokovic before the final. So you have an injury, your draw is tough. I'm not sure that they want to aggravate that, but hey, I'm not a physiotherapist. I'm just an Abraka girl speaking on radio in Smooth 98.1 in Lagos. So who should listen to me? But yeah, Yannick Sinner's had a brilliant season so far, and he's improved upon um all of his results from last year so far. So he's looking to improve again on this one, even if some people say clay is not his best it's not his best surface, but because of the way he's been playing brilliantly this season, it doesn't look like there's any surface that can hold him down. So it starts today. We wait to see how he performs on clay. Novak Djokovic is also in town, so that's an interesting read. But Rafa Nadal couldn't make it. I've said it. Rafa Nadal's body is giving him signs. This one, yeah, is not even signed again. Rafa Nadal's body is blowing trumpets. And Rafa Nadal has refused to heed because he showed up at Indian Wells, Miami Open, couldn't play, even if he turned up at the tournament and was able to make it to the draws. He showed up again in Monte Carlo, then had to withdraw. At this point in time, it's no longer red flag, it's just red everywhere. I don't know why he hasn't seen the signs, but he wants to retire on his own terms. So let me just keep quiet because I can hear the siren from afar. And it's not saying play on, it's playing
Parara.
maybe maybe the trumpet has sounded, but it
Yeah.
doesn't come to listen. All right. On that note, before we go, I don't think we should go to
So
the
just
next story. No, no, we can't go to the next story now. We don't have time. We have to go
uh,
on a quick break.
so I'm listening to Tega. What you
I said
saying?
we should go on. We should just go on a break now. When we come back, let's take that next story because it's fresh and hot.
Night. All right. On the other side, I suppose waiting club will be there. So also would be Mancini's Lazio and other issues. Stay tuned. It's still the locker room on Smooth 98.1 FM. Go. Yes.
I can hear
Hello,
you.
Tega. It's a net.
I can hear you.
So once more, let's get in a bit more as we throw in this next message coming in from Ichi. All right. So let's see. Ichi's message is not related to what we're looking at this morning. So Tega, yes, the audio.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's better now. Just
uh, 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 yeah, it's better now. Okay, so I could hear a bit of your reading. So we are in the Liverpool story, Liverpool Manchester United.
mm. So let's get
All
into
right.
that story here, which waiting already for us. And where it's stating here, Liverpool's dramatic 2-2 draw at Man United on Sunday could come back to hunt them in the hunt for their first Premier League title in 4 years. But manager Jurgen Klopp urged the club supporters to remain calm, stay calm.
I'm actually surprised that Liverpool supporters will feel some kind of angst. They should not realize that Arsenal has the toughest running um to this title race. Arsenal still has to go to Old Trafford. Arsenal still has to play against Tottenham Hotspur away. Arsenal still has to play against Aston Villa next. Um, and these are all tough fixtures that Arsenal could drop points at. Again, it's not. I'm not saying that they will. I'm just saying they are tough fixtures, and so the worries there for Liverpool should just be that they do at least their fixtures are not as slippery as Arsenal's fixtures are. It's not like they don't have any tough teams to play. It's just that Arsenal's own look a little trickier. Um, so it's going to be it's a really tough one for Liverpool supporters to be really mad, especially yesterday. And I understand it. First half, Liverpool were absolutely brilliant. They were dominating, creating chances. Manchester, you did not even have, when they're writing 12 shots at goal for Liverpool, Manchester United had zero. That's how much Liverpool dominated. But I'm sure some supporters were angry that Liverpool didn't take all the chances that they had. Because if they took some of their chances, there'd have been some daylight between them and Manchester United. And then Manchester United came back with a brilliant goal from Bruno Fernandes, and another brilliant goal from Maino, and then um, Liverpool had to salvage a draw. So they're still in it with a good shout. Their fate is well in their hands if they because it's just goal difference that makes them fall behind Arsenal. So I don't know why the supporters need to be mad like they're mad. But yesterday was a revelation again of some other thing. Eric Ten Hag is a problem. And again, he comes into matches with some level. Some people say he's conservative, but I think he's just scared. Because again, 10 minutes to the end of the match against Liverpool, and Manchester United leading by 2 goals to 1, he takes out Manchester United's most brilliant outlet, Gamacho. And the boy did not say he was tired. In fact, the boy was ready to run a marathon. He took him out and decided that he's going to sit back and hold what he has. And brought in Amrabat. And I'm just like, don't do that, because Manchester United have not proven over the season that they are a team that can hold on defensively. So why are you trying to sit back 10 minutes to the end of the match? This is 10 minutes of regulation time. There's still injury time to be added, of which they added 7. So 17 minutes, you want to sit back. You just pile on pressure on the team. And I didn't finish talking before Bissaka gave away a penalty. So it's Eric Ten Hag. Remember again against Chelsea, he decided to hold what he had when they were leading, and then they ended up losing that game by 4 goals to 3. So Eric Ten Hag is part of the problem. In fact, Eric Ten Hag is like 40% of the problem. The rest we have to we have to still decide. But it's not a good look when the coach is dropping points from winning positions. He did it against Brentford. He did it against Chelsea in a fantastic match, and then he did it against Liverpool again yesterday, because they could have gone away with all 3 points. So Ten Hag, whatever the result is this season, If I'm an Arsenal or if I'm a Manchester United fan, I want him fired.
All right. Let's go on now to what it's looking like around Lazio, where Gianluca Mancini is being investigated for his celebrations after Roma derby, in which he waved a flag depicting Lazio fans as rats, the Italian Football Federation chief said on Sunday.
All right, so let me tell you the history. You know how it is. Roma and Lazio
It's clearly a rat.
it's it's a local derby. Now, fans brought that once the fans put that rat thing in the flag, you knew that it was Roma fans against Lazio fans. Mancini, as you have seen him on the pitch, sometimes can be too passionate. You know, sometimes he does. You can see it in the way he slides into his tackles or the way he defends. He's extra. Now, in celebrating the fact that they defeated Lazio, he now went to collect the flag. You know, it was okay when the flag was in the stands, so it will be fan versus fan. But it's not okay when you're the player on the pitch and you're waving that. And which is why he's being investigated. So it was not his flag. It's not like he brought it out of his back pocket. The flag had been waving in the crowd since he now won. He now decided to taunt them with it. So yes, it's a conduct unbecoming, and we wait to see what the penalty would be. But yeah, he shouldn't have. You know, there are some things that fans can get
But
away
just
with that players wouldn't.
like our own
Why?
Samuel Osayi now having to do
No,
that
that was
tackle and
different.
see
That
what
was
it's looking
different.
like now.
He was that one. He was defending himself, and at the end of the day, his
Okay.
teammates got fines. He didn't get any fine. He didn't get any fine. His teammates
Yeah.
got fines for kicking. So that one he was defending himself. This one he was taunting them. He went to the stands to collect
Okay.
that flag. Went to look for
All
trouble.
right. That's more like playing Canaan's wave your flag at the end of the day after saving for trouble. But let's go on to Bayern Munich coach Thomas Tuchel Friday said Manuel Neuer, Leroy Sané, Kingsley Coman, Alexander Pavlovich, and Mazuri were in doubt for Tuesday's Champions League quarterfinal against Arsenal.
What good news it will be for a lot of Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans just want to hear that they are beaten Bayern Munich, and they have many reasons to. Um, so it's a tough one, especially for Thomas Tuchel, because Thomas Tuchel is not in a good place. I thought he could have been fired a long time ago, and to make matters worse again, he lost over the weekend to a team that he was leading by 2 goals to nil, and then losing 3-2. And it's just Bayern Munich at this point in time, the wheels have not only come off, the engine has dropped at this point in time. So it's the worst season they've ever witnessed. And you can choose to call it Hurricanes curse, but you would also have to know that Thomas Tuchel is part of it because he's the manager of the team at the end of the day. And so Bayern Leverkusen, that like they used to call them, is going to win the title next weekend, because Bayern Munich keeps dropping points every 2 market days as if they have a leaking pocket. And so at this point in time, season over, Thomas Tuchel has failed woefully at Bayern Munich, and Arsenal is just waiting to pick up what's left. The thing is, the difference is, this is Champions League, and Arsenal also do not have pedigree here. So kind of puts them on balance plate. But tomorrow is a big one. Bayern Munich taking on Arsenal. Arsenal's one opportunity to defeat a wounded lion. Will Arsenal take it?
The wind is blowing with a question, but this takes us to some people who you say they've got pedigree, but to last season, thanks to midfielder Jude Bellingham's obvious impact. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola said after his side were drawn to face the La Liga club in the Champions League quarterfinals.
Yeah, there's something that Jude Bellingham adds to that team, is that first of all, there was already the never die spirit. You know, if you're playing against Real Madrid, regardless of what the scoreline is, you're going to play till the referee blows the whistle for the final whistle, because Real Madrid will find a way to get away with the result. And so they faced a Manchester City side who haven't been the most convincing, or sorry, that haven't been the most convincing this season so far. And yes, they've been able to grind out results with some of the quality that they have in form of players, but it's still not the most convincing performances. So Tuesday, it will be another um clash of defending champions. So Manchester City holding their own against Real Madrid, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting at this point in time. Even Pep Guardiola cannot beat his chest and say, "I'm going to come away with the result." He may say he will come away with the ball possession. That one, Real Madrid can give it to you. You want the ball, and be take it. But we want the 3 points. Um, so it's going to be a tough one. And he's right. Jude Bellingham is an X factor when it comes to Real Madrid. And to make it even more interesting, while Manchester City were slugging it out this weekend in the Premier League, Real Madrid were chilling because this weekend was Copa del Rey final, which Athletic Bilbao won on penalties, but they weren't doing anything. So they are more refreshed. There's more fuel in the tank. So it looks like it's advantage Real Madrid, but maybe, just maybe, that sharpness from slugging it out over the weekend could give Manchester City an advantage. So that's why I said tomorrow there'll be football. Real Madrid, Manchester City, Arsenal, Bayern Munich. That is football heritage.
Well, let's quickly throw these guys in the bus. That's just for the sake of being kind to them. Sheffield United striker Holly McBurney snatched a time equal that to secure 2-2 draw at home to Chelsea in their battle for Premier League survival to stay or
And I
fall
was
off.
I was bragging on Friday. I was like, Chelsea must win their next match. You know, after they won Manchester United and we were praising them for the comeback, I was like, yeah, they must win their next match. They're playing against Sheffield now. My brother, I did not understand that Chelsea had a real problem. Sheffield United, are you kidding me? You are drawing against Sheffield United after that comeback you had on Thursday. That comeback you had on Thursday is the kind of comeback that can turn your season, where you were winning and then you were losing and then you came back to win it in the dying minute. That's the kind of comeback that should inspire you to move mountains. And then after that kind of comeback, Chelsea goes to drop 2 points in the dying minute against Sheffield United. Such a horrible performance by Pochettino, but it tells you um, the kind of situation that Chelsea finds itself in. They can't be motivated by their coach. They can't be motivated by their performance. They can't even be motivated by fantastic results like the one that they had on Thursday. What will motivate this Chelsea side? My goodness. And maybe LK Aderewa can tell us in the comment section. But it was not it's
That
not the
takes
kind of
us.
performance I expected to follow what happened with Manchester United.
Well, that finds out. Let's go to YouTube now as we wrap up the conversation in the locker room. We see messages waiting. Chidozie Valentine comes up with a message saying, sometimes careless sub rubbish good effort. That's what Chidozie had to say, Valentine. And it goes on, I see Arsenal beating Bayern Munich home and away. Tega, respond. Douse that kind of optimism for us.
I cannot say it. I'm just going. It's football, and anything can happen. So let's wait to see. But if you don't if your team doesn't back up this, your bragging.
Okay.
You know how the streets are. They'll drag you through the streets.
Yeah. All right. Then I've got Chimobi Victor saying Chelsea is an average team and never fail to disappoint when it matters most. While for darling Arsenal, we are winning the EPL. Nothing can stop us at this time. And even for Bayern Munich, we will destroy them. That's what he has to say. So
ha,
Chelsea cannot
ha.
defeat ordinary
Arsenal,
Sheffield United. That is down already. Chelsea can. Oh,
Arsenal
dear.
fans, people talk too much. You people talk too much. Hey, can't you just be subtle until you at least win? Oh goodness. All right, let's take one or two messages before we round up.
WhatsApp now. Let's go to WhatsApp. WhatsApp message. I've got Mayowa waiting here. Mayowa says, well, the elephant is back on top. Thank you to Manchester United. I wonder what the narrative will be if Arsenal played the way Liverpool is survival of the fittest, he says. Mayowa. Then I got Klopp here. This one says Olajuwon. Klopp has himself to blame. Taking off Zobo for Jones was a disaster. He did same against Manchester United in the FA Cup, and it cost Liverpool. But trust the elephant to come back very soon. Olajuwon. Well, that's all we can take. If the league were to end, would Arsenal be crowned the champions? Hello, Tega.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear you. Sorry. You said if the league were to end.
Tega. Yes.
I can hear you now. Yes. You're saying something about if the league were to end.
Cool. Yes, I've been told to ask you if the league were to end today, would Arsenal be crowned for any circumstances beyond our control, as it is right now? Would they be crowned champions?
Of course. What are you saying? They are number one on the table on goal difference. They will be crowned champions. On that note, I want to say thank you for tuning into Smooth 98.1 to listen to the locker room. Thank you for sending your messages on WhatsApp and on YouTube. So we'll come your way again on Wednesday when maybe we'll be talking about Barcelona's own troubles. See you then.